Good morning from the heart of New York City. This is Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast dedicated to one thing: to learn and apply to eat better daily. I'm your host, Angela Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist, your personal health and wellness coach, your personal food detective and fat loss guru and food enthusiast on a mission to help you to eat better foods, to make better choices, and just to become better at choosing the right foods to feel better, look better, and perform better on all levels, mentally and physically. And as I was thinking, guys, about what to talk about on this podcast today, something accidentally just came up. Well, basically, last night, while I was sleeping, I had this dream while my heart had kind of unusual beats that woke me up. I had this dream that I was lacking potassium, literally. And in my dream, there was some creature that was cutting some piece of I don't know what that obviously I had a feeling was rich in potassium. I don't know what it was and what that creature was. I don't know the name. But when I woke up, I realized I'm probably missing potassium because since I'm actually right now in Siberia visiting my parents for 3 more weeks, and I stopped taking my potassium, my electrolyte supplements that I usually do back in US, because on a low carb diet, especially on keto diet, you lose a lot of electrolytes. You don't hold as many electrolytes because your glycogen levels are usually low, and basically on a low carb diet, your body loses electrolytes much easier and much faster. So you need to be really careful, but you need to really think about where you're getting your potassium, your magnesium. Sodium usually is not such a huge problem. Calcium might be a problem too, but anyway, two the most important electrolytes or minerals that you need to be getting from your diet, and your body is constantly daily losing when you sweat, when you urinate, but basically when the water balance outside and inside your cells changes. So these electrolytes, these minerals, you need to replenish daily. And today in particular, we're going to talk about potassium since obviously I was missing that mineral, that electrolyte in my body. And here is something about potassium. In addition to potassium, electrolytes in your body include sodium, chlorine, calcium, and magnesium. Potassium is the main electrolyte inside your cell, along with the sodium outside your cells. It creates a phenomenon known as a membrane potential. The membrane potential allows an electrical current to pass from one cell to the next. In doing so, it contracts muscle fibers, including those of your heart and actually also your digestive muscle, your stomach muscle, and transmits nerve signals. Because maintaining both your heartbeat and nerve function is so critical in keeping you alive, the potassium in your body plays a significant role in your health. Guys, I've learned again, the importance of electrolyte balance, and especially again potassium and sodium potential outside and inside our cell membranes. So again, sodium, usually we don't have problems adding sodium salt to our food, but potassium might take a little bit of work. Potassium is also, it helps to contract your muscle fibers. Again, not only your muscles that move your body, but also muscles like your heart. So if you're not getting enough potassium, for example, you might experience irregular heartbeats, and actually it can cause sudden death and sudden stroke. Potassium also helps to maintain regular blood pressure. So, when you have too much or too little, it can lead either to too low blood pressure or too high of blood pressure. That one thing. Then again, it helps your muscles, your heart muscles, your digestive muscles to contract. It also helps to maintain certain fluid balance inside and outside your cells, and have normal fluid retention in your body, meaning not too much, not too little. It also helps to maintain certain pH balance of your blood. Managing the acidity of your blood. What else? Besides that, potassium, it also helps to synthesize protein. So if you want to build muscles, then potassium is also very important. But the main thing, I guess, you want to remember that it helps with normal contraction of your muscles. And there are two very important muscles, like your heart and your stomach, and also muscles along your digestive system. And then, muscle contraction, fluid, and normal blood pressure. So you need a lot of potassium for that. And again, you need to replenish it daily. And usually the recommended dose is no less than 3,500 milligram for people for most people, for healthy people. Actually, it is recommended to increase it to 4,000 or 4,500 milligrams of potassium, especially if you're on a low carb, on a keto diet, especially if you do a lot of sports, a lot of fitness activities, and you sweat a lot. You need to replenish potassium daily. And again, on a low carb diet, we naturally kind of stop eating so many potassium-rich foods, because a lot of potassium you can get from things like beans or vegetables, and that vegetables that are higher in starch, and like potatoes, for example, sweet potatoes or pumpkins, vegetables higher in starch and carbs. But also you can easily get your potassium from low carb foods too. And when I woke up, I was kind of on a mission to include as many potassium rich foods in my daily menu as possible. I already kind of naturally started eating more of them, but today specifically I decided to check how much actual potassium from food I'm getting. And I'm also taking a multivitamin that doesn't really supply a lot of potassium, but also today I got a potassium supplement that provides additional 600 milligrams of potassium. And I went shopping and got some high in potassium foods and low in carbs, like, for example, mixed green vegetables that include broccoli, some spinach, and some Brussels sprouts. Broccoli and spinach have a lot of potassium. But here is the full list of low carb foods that you can consider to increase the potassium in your diet. For some reason, I looked up this website that the link to which you can find in the show notes. And the first here was bacon. I'm not a fan of bacon, so I didn't get any today, but it has 539 milligrams per 100 grams. Then oysters. I actually eat every day 150 grams of oysters now, because I know that oysters are high in minerals and potassium including. So per 100 grams of oyster meat, 242 milligrams, and I usually get around 150 grams of that. Cacao is really rich source of potassium. So today I got 100% dark chocolate, nothing else added, 50 grams of that. And then also I put a tablespoon of just cacao into my coffee and blended it to get even more potassium. So I figured I got somewhere around 700 milligrams of potassium, at least in my cacao. Or cocoa. It depends, on your language and how you like to call it. Then spinach, again, I told you I got some mixed greens, and I'm gonna eat 400 grams of them. So that's gonna give me at least 558 milligrams of potassium, but probably more. That is per 100 grams of spinach, you get 558. But since I'm eating 400 grams of vegetables, so I figured I get at least that. Then beef has 350 milligrams per 100 grams. Swiss chard, 379 milligrams per 100 grams. And again, you're going to find the link to this resource in the show notes. Then pork has 490 milligrams per 100 grams. I actually got some pork in cans, the best quality. Avocado has 351 milligram per 100 grams, or 1067 milligram per average fruit. Then wild-caught salmon that I had for breakfast per 100 grams had 628 milligrams. And then mushrooms, 396 milligrams per 100 grams. I also got some marinated, without any sugar, mushrooms for my lunch today. So I did this shopping and reading on potassium and got some foods into my daily menu rich in potassium. So I calculated my potassium for today. And I got somewhere around 942 milligrams from salmon that I got for breakfast, around 1,000 from beef that I'm gonna eat for lunch/dinner, somewhere around 550 from green mix that I got, somewhere around 700 from chocolate and cacao that I had in my coffee and with my coffee. Then around 400 milligrams from oysters, and then around 400 milligrams from mushrooms, and then in my supplement I got another 600 milligrams. So altogether it ended up being 4,650. So see, even with the supplement, like I didn't get, overdose of potassium. So make sure that you're getting enough potassium, guys, because if your muscles cannot contract properly, including your heart muscles, it can actually cause death. That's how important it is. If your cells cannot communicate between each other because you don't have enough of membrane potential, meaning enough of sodium potassium balance to send the signals between your cells, your nerve function will be compromised, and again that's going to affect your muscle contraction, but also your brain function, and also your digestive system not going to work properly because you're not going to have potassium for your muscles, your digestive muscles to contract properly. And again, you might retain too much water or have not enough water in your body. Potassium is very important, and especially if you are on a low carb diet or just poor quality diet, you need to make sure that you're getting your potassium somehow, either from supplements, or it's better always to get it from food, because any kind of mineral is absorbed from food much better, and there is much higher chance that your body absorbs and metabolizes potassium properly from foods rather than from supplement. So guys, get your potassium in. And again, in the show notes, you'll find the link to the high in potassium, low carb foods. And then also you'll find a couple of links that where you can read more about potassium and how important it is for different functions in your body. And again, lack of potassium can even cause death. It's no joke, guys. If you have any questions about potassium, about low carb foods and potassium, about low carb diet, about anything really, but specifically potassium, because we've been talking about potassium the whole episode, shoot me email to angela@createyourself.today, angela@createyourself.today. And guys, thank you for listening. I love you all. Share this podcast so more people feel better, making better food choices and getting all the potassium that everyone needs. And then instead of bananas, start eating things like avocados or mushroom or super dark chocolate without any sugar to increase your potassium levels. And till next time, eat better daily.